Howdy and aloha. James Monotalk. Mana meaning power, mystical. Talk meaning talkie. Happy talk. Okay. I'm going to show you a little clip of what Rand Paul's talking about. Not that most of us didn't know this, but everything's alarming, right? There's nothing happening in the past since, I don't know, early 2020. Everything's been extremely alarming. You know, my eyes are getting big. It's extremely alarming. And it's just really sad. That's not sad, it's telling. But that's the better word for it. On the direction of where this country's going. And many others. But what he's saying, or what he's advocating for, as he's on the congressional floor, is the, let me just play it for it and then we'll go over it. But I'm gonna kind of go into detail on what, kind of summarize what's going on. Maybe give you my take on it, right? Give you my take. Anyway, yeah, everything's just alarming as hell lately. It's nuts. Yeah, so let's go here. Let's go to him.
The left-leaning Brennan Center for Justice further explains why a law designed to protect the Fourth Amendment has led to their dissolution. The Brennan Center states, dramatic shifts in technology and law have changed the role of the FISA court since its creation in 1978. The fundamental changes not only erode America's civil liberties, but they likely violate Article 3 of the U.S. Constitution, which limits courts to deciding concrete disputes between parties rather than issuing opinion on abstract questions. According to the Brennan Center, today's FISA court doesn't operate like a court at all, but more like an arm of the intelligence establishment. The FISA court's wholesale approval process also fails to satisfy standards set forth by the Fourth Amendment, which protects against warrantless searches and seizures. Some people issued prescient warnings about the destruction of civil liberties and constitutional rights at the time. At the time, then Senator Joe Biden stated that he was voting no on this Section 702, this expansion of FISA powers. Senator Joe Biden said it would be a breathtaking and unconstitutional expansion of the president's powers, and it is wholly unnecessary to address the problems the administration has identified. Then Senator Biden added that he would not give the president unchecked authority to eavesdrop on whomever he wants in exchange for the vague and hollow assurances that he will protect the civil liberties of the American people. Boy, I wish that Joe Biden were still around and remembering hollow assurances that he will protect the civil liberties of the American people. Boy, I wish that Joe Biden were still around and remembering his comments about FISA. Hollow assurances that he will protect the civil liberties of the American people. Boy, I wish that Joe Biden were still around and remembering his comments about FISA.
Is he still around? That's a little piece of what we're getting to here, but the most alarming information is coming. But that's also kind of telling. So you could have said, he's here, but he's changed, but I guess he's just not around. So who the hell is that anyway? Right? Then you'd have to ask, well, who's the guy? Who's the illegitimate POTUS? Who's that guy? Anybody? Bueller. Let's continue.
Patrick Eddington of the Cato Institute has dedicated his career to exposing the abuses of surveillance authorities. He argues that Section 702 of FISA and its predecessors comprise the biggest unconstitutional mass surveillance dragnet in American history, and that we have documentary evidence from the federal government's own records of repeated systemic abuses of this authority. Even the FISA court itself in 2018 held that the FBI's procedures for accessing Americans' communications that are incidentally collected under 702 violate both the statute and the Fourth Amendment. Even the FISA court, which rubber stamps these warrants like there's no going way, says that they believe that they are violating the Fourth Amendment.
Let me give you a little info in regards to the people I was talking about. All right, just so you know, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court was established by Congress in 1978. The court entertains applications made by the United States government for approval of electronic surveillance, physical search, and certain other forms of investigation actions for foreign intelligence purposes. Supposed to be for foreign intelligence purposes. But let's continue.
But these warrantless surveillance on Americans goes on. In 2021 alone, the FBI conducted 3.4 million warrantless searches of Americans' communications. In 2021 alone, the FBI conducted 3.4 million warrantless. But these warrantless surveillance on Americans goes on. In 2021 alone, the FBI conducted 3.4 million surveillance on Americans goes on. In 2021 alone, the FBI conducted 3.4 million warrantless searches of Americans' communications.
3.4 million in 2021. I wonder how many they did in 2020, and then how many did Trump do in 2020, then how many did Trump do in 2019. I will guess, and I'm going to look this up, but he's probably got this information. He's probably, what I would have done is given that example. How many times did the Trump administration do these warrantless searches on us? Now remember, what is this place for? Foreign intelligence. Foreign intelligence. But they use that label as, it's under the guise of foreign intelligence. They're using this, or have been using it, to spy on us, to spy on themselves. All they have to indicate is, well, there was a foreign phone call or a text, or they went online to, whatever, in some European or Middle Eastern or South African and South American, Australian, Europe, Asian, website, boom. Like, any kind of correlation, any kind of link gives them this right, even though it's totally and absolutely frivolous. But this is a big issue. 3.4 million in 2021. Americans. And I'm going to guess that most of those people, right, I would say at least 80+% of them were probably Trump supporters, conservatives, Republicans. Let's just throw that card on the table, because that seems pretty obvious, right? Or people just asking fucking questions, like me. Question authority and its sources at every turn. Chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And the problem is that they're still doing it. This is not stopped. This is the information he's able to obtain for 2021. I wonder what 2022 looks like. I wonder where it's at so far at 2023. You could just imagine these minions of the pedo-predator class, aka the World Economic Forum and their associates, that have full and total control and power over the Democrats, or the Dumbo cants, because they don't do anything for you. That's why I left the Democratic Party in 2016, 2017, because I finally realized that they're just idiots. And then I went to the Green Party, and then I became an independent. Recently, at like 2019, 2020 is when I became an independent. And I said, well, all these, and I've known that all these parties for at least a decade have this establishment, the Democrats and the Republicans. I've known this. But this stuff needs to stop. This is a complete and total violation of right after right of our civil liberties, which seem to be disappearing, and we're creating weird ones lately. Right? No, it's okay for the 43-year-old guy with a beard dressed with a thong, dressed with a skirt, to go into the bathroom with your 6, 7, 8, 10, 12-year-old daughter. The women's bathroom. That's okay. Right? No. It's okay for illegal immigrants that just crossed the border like a few months ago, weeks ago, whatever, to now become police officers of your county, of your state, of your city. They just christened. Let me just finish what he's saying. But anyway, I'm telling you, just sanity.
Communications. Like the spying on Martin Luther King and Vietnam War protesters,
which they did,
the FBI still targets individuals for their beliefs.
Yeah, they do.
The FBI accessed the 702 database without search warrants to access the information of 19,000 political donors. They accessed the records of those involved with the protest on January 6th. They accessed the records of a member of Congress and Black Lives Matters activists.
Black Lives Matter.
You might think, oh, I've got nothing to hide, no big deal. You might think that if you avoid political activity, you can avoid the long arm of the government. But think again.
Yeah.
If you call a merchant in England or text a family member in Germany or email a friend in Israel, the feds can seize and search your communications without permission, without a warrant, and without due process. But that's not all. The federal spies can then capture all the communications of the person you subsequently reached out to and all the persons they reached out to. It goes on and reaches its tentacles out such that it gathers millions of communications. Imagine a senator or a congressman who talks to a prime minister overseas. Their communications in the database. To allow this to happen, imagine all of the people who are international business that make international phone calls. Their phone calls are in the database. And it'd be one thing if we were just collecting this to look at terrorist activity, but no, we let the FBI search any American's name in there. They can go in there under any pretext. We told the FBI, you have to list why you're searching the name, and they didn't do it. Any pretext. We told the FBI, you have to list activity, but no, we let the FBI search any American's name in there. They can go in there under any pretext. We told the FBI, you have to search any American's name in there. They can go in there under any pretext. We told the FBI, search any American's name in there. They can go in there under any pretext. We told the FBI, you have to list why you're searching the name, and they didn't do it. They actually go around some of the rules by saying, oh, let's search 10,000 things and call it one query. We cannot trust them. You cannot trust the fox to be in charge of the hen house. We need controls, and Congress needs to do their job. We had 5 years to think about this. It comes up, and we're just going to airdrop it in and say, sorry, we haven't had time to think about this. We don't have time to reform it. We don't care about Americans' privacy. That's what the majority who will vote to just drop this in and turn the other way will do. It'd be bad enough if the FBI limited itself to eviscerating the Fourth Amendment and indiscriminately collecting and searching the private communications of millions of Americans, but it's...
Man. Just... Nothing's getting fixed. I keep telling you. You know, we got, who was this recently? We got Josh Hawley And we got Senator Cruz somewhat debating, right? Somewhat. And it's nah. They're not debating. There it is right there. I love these commercials. Brave, I get it. I know. Sorry. Here, listen.
But I think we should do so in a focused and targeted way. AI is an incredibly important area of innovation. And simply unleashing trial lawyers to sue the living daylights out of every technology company for AI, I don't think that's prudent policy. We want America to lead in AI, and so I'm a much more of a believer of using the potential of liability in a focused, targeted way to stop the behavior that we think is so harmful, whether it is behavior that is harming our kids, and I am deeply, deeply concerned about the garbage. I support the approach, but in my view, it needs to be more targeted to produce the outcomes we want, rather than simply harming American technology across the board. That shouldn't be our objective. Our objective should be changing their behavior so that they're not engaging in conduct that is harmful to American consumers and to American children and parents.
Mr. President.
Senator from Missouri.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate the conversation with my friend from Texas, and we should do more of this. This is an enlightening conversation. Let me just say a few remarks. I won't query him further unless he'd like to query me. We don't debate much anymore on this floor, and it's a shame. Particularly my friend from Texas is a great debater. But let me just say a few things in response. Nobody has been more serious about taking on the big tech companies than Senator Cruz. And so I appreciate your leadership on this issue. Here's what I would say. We shouldn't allow the big tech companies to be treated differently than any other company in any respect. I don't want to make them more liable than other American companies, but I also don't want to give them a sweetheart deal. They ought to be treated evenly, equally, like anybody else. And I don't think that AI is a get-out-of-jail-free card any more than social media is. We have seen what they do with their subsidy from government when it comes to social media. My friend from Texas referenced it. They censor the living daylights out of anybody they don't like. We just had the landmark case out of my state, Missouri versus Biden, that found that these social media companies actively and willingly colluded with the federal government to censor everything from the Hunter Biden laptop story to parents who want to talk about school board meetings, to questions about COVID-19. Anything that this administration didn't like, they went to the social media companies and they said, we want you to censor, and they did. They did. And could any American go to court and say, hold on, you're actually violating your terms of service. You know, the contract that we all have to sign, those little things you have to click when you create a social media account, there are actually terms in there. Could you go to court today when a social media company violates those terms by censoring your speech? Could you? The answer is no, you cannot. Why? Because this government protects them. This government gives them a deal no other company in America gets. When Johnson & Johnson put asbestos in baby powder, Johnson & Johnson got the living daylight sued out of them. Thank the Lord. Because guess what? When they got sued, they quit putting asbestos in baby powder. Can a parent who finds out a chatbot has recommended that their child commit suicide do anything about it in court? No. Can a parent who finds out that an AI company has gone and scraped the images of their children off the web, which these companies do all the time, and used them to create images that are synthetic, meaning fake, can a parent do anything about it? No. Can they sue? No. Can they even be heard in court? No. Why? Because this government gives those companies something it doesn't give anybody else. Immunity. That is
indemnification. Okay? So, I don't want to be the leader in AI. Oh, crap. You guys didn't see that. I'm sorry. Darn it. Sorry. So, but you heard it. Now, keep in mind, Josh Hawley was a proponent of the Restrict Act. He was trying to take down TikTok and a few other things in there. It had nothing to do with TikTok. It was about censorship. And he pulled away from that, it seems like. So I'm a little concerned. And, I'm always concerned of where they're going and what they're talking about. And frankly, most of the shit that they say, you don't really know what the devils and the details are until it actually happens with these people. Right? Hey, Jordan, I saw you yesterday. Vote them all out of office. It's Rand Paul. Wow, that would be a fucking hell of a ticket. That would be a serious ticket. That would really... I don't think that would... Rand Paul and Kennedy together... Wow. That would really fuck up Trumpers. I mean, Trump needs to come out and say he's... I don't think he wants to. Okay, let me get to something else. But let me finish what I'm doing. But that's an interesting... I thought about that too. A while back. I've always wanted Rand Paul to fucking run. I've always wanted him to run. But so... There's technology out there that's being used against us. That's what I was talking about earlier with FISA, right? These people here, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, FISA court, they're basically they're allowing these things to happen. They're allowing the Orwellian 1984 Orwellian Ministry of Truth to continually appear. 3.4 million people in 2021 were spied on. Spied. Your information and everything was raked through the coals. Right? And probably due to your perspective or being labeled as what they call, and you can look it up, the FBI had a term for people that weren't conforming, people that weren't accepting the narrative, people that weren't, that were questioning authority and its sources at every turn. They called them influence operators. So, Josh Hawley's really good at looking in the camera. He always looks in the camera. This guy, he's a camera guy, right? He's not always perfect, but I support a lot of the stuff that he does. Ted Cruz, kind of flip-floppy. The guy that's the real beast in a good way, not Mark of the Beast type of person, is the other senator from Missouri, Eric Schmidt. Eric Schmidt has got this going on right here. He's been adamant. The only problem is he's jumped into the Israel thing, which, what the fuck, man? Just come on, people. Wake the hell up. So Eric Schmidt is the one that he talked about that has helped start Missouri versus Biden, which is probably the most important case out there right now in regards to our free speech. That, they had a conjunction, it stopped a few things, but it doesn't matter. They're still taking people down. I talked about it yesterday. A girl I know on the internet, her channel got taken down. Her first one. I'm on my 8th. I'm using my 7th. It's borderline out at the precipice, right on the border. But I'm on my... I've got an 8th backup. The one I'm using now is the 7th. But Eric Schmidt said Biden's radical climate agenda is not just virtue signaling anymore. He's now unilaterally allocating Americans' hard-earned money, our tax dollars, to a UN fund that will neither help nor solve anything. So that's the goal, is to keep putting money. I've said this forever. Well, more so in the early 2020. This money they get, everything, all the money, the trillions, the money they, yeah, thank you. We are at the precipice. Maybe. The money that they're getting, or they're stealing, or they're conjuring up, or they're making out of the thin air machine. You know, there's trillions, a trillion here, a trillion there, a billion, a few billion there, 100 billion there, whatever, for whatever reason. This goes to the UN, NATO operational process of effing us up. This is also happening in a lot of countries that the World Economic Forum has partnered up with. You know, Klaus Schwab, we are proud to say that we've partnered. I sound like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're proud to say that we've penetrated 3,000 cabinet members of Canada, and then 3,000 world leaders. This is what he said. Right? This is this Auschwitz, whatever. How do you say that? How do you say Nazi guy, right? Mr. Klaus Schwab has been advocating and supporting and bragging about for a long time, right? The connection is obvious. The agenda or their mission is obvious. We need to better educate our elected officials. I think most of them know what's going on, right, in regards to the World Economic Forum. I don't see much happening with them. I don't see much happening. Things are still moving in the direction of central bank digital currency. They're still hampering down and still pushing for what they call corporate governance. It's all over the website. The World Economic corporate governance. We're talking BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Fidelity, J.P. Morgan, all these giant firms, right? There's a different word for the firms, but anyway, these trillion-dollar companies out there that are pulling the strings of these people, of many, not this guy. I don't think this guy. But they do have a tug on a lot of these people. Thank you, Citizens United. I keep freaking saying it. How many people do you believe would be in favor of the Great Reset or the New World Order if Citizens United wasn't available? None of them. The answer is none of them. All right, let me show you the new terrorists for Ukraine. Look at these people. Senators, or just, I don't know. Zelensky meet with U.S. arms. These are all the U.S. arms manufacturers. How is that? Isn't that? Look at that. Look at that. Right? All these people. These people have so much fucking money, you have no idea how much money these fucking people have. Anytime Biden wants to write another blank check to the military-industrial complex, here they are right here. Matter of fact, I need to send this I need to copy this. Wait, let me see. Quote, no, where is it? Copy link. I'm just going to go right up here. Right? Citizens United. That's it. That's all I need to put. He understands. I would vote for many of these people if they weren't so, legs up, lay downs, bent over for the lobbyists, right? Big pharma, big military-industrial complex. They kind of work together anyway. But it's really telling. I mean, look at that right there. UN fund. Here's the UN fund right here. These people right here. There they are. This is here it is, a picture of alongside executives of Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, and others. Looks like many lucrative business opportunities still ahead for these valued partners. That's Michael Tracy, the guy that twirls his hair all the time, or used to. I don't know if he does it anymore. It was just he's got a little tick, but he's got some good information. Look at this. This is it. All these people are making a shit ton of money. More money than you could ever imagine. I almost did a really big solar deal in California with a company. And this company, when they brought out their financials, and they had 3 machine shops that were, I don't know, 8,000 square feet, maybe, each one. Not huge, right? Not giant warehouses. But we had to get their financials and their information with the bank that we were using. The guy from the bank was an idiot. He fucked up the deal. Anyway. But they were going over their numbers and what they've done, revenues, what they did. And this is, 8 years, maybe 10 years ago. I was almost pissed my pants. And I'm looking at this little company, this, and I'm not going to say the name of the company, but this little company that made little parts here and there for the military industrial complex that they would then put on, weapons of mass destruction, basically. Basically. Hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. And they had 60 employees. I mean, they were like, I think it was like 638 million. Like, besides just liquid cash. That means after they paid their bills and their overhead and their employees, this is the money this fucking place was generating. I was just like, what the fuck? I'm in the wrong industry. I am in the wrong fucking industry. Right? Death and destruction is fucking where the money's at. That's basically what's going on here. Yeah, a bunch of warmongers, nasty and crap. And this picture clearly, thoroughly, and absolutely proves none other the fact and the point, right? That none of this money goes for war. It's not about war. It's about money laundering. It's about sending money out to make people money, and all these people are sending that money right back around. Zelensky, this little weirdo pedo actor, gets to fucking get his Maseratis and his Lamborghinis, and his wife gets to go on a $2 million shopping spree while she was here in the United States. That's, I guess it's rumored, but somebody had TikToked or something the amount of what she had spent, or one of her, I guess it was somebody in her group or had mentioned, and somebody caught it, what they had spent, close to $2 million, or just, because, when I come and visit, when I go to visit Ukraine, that's what I'm doing. I'm going on a shopping spree for $1 million or $2 million, right? It's all a bunch of corrupt motherfuckers, man. Crazy. And what helps back this, to keep this engine going, right? And this is kind of where this goes. And I'm glad I'm bringing this up, because if we talk about what Rand Paul is talking about,
Emily,
there's a nice commercial, right? If we go back to what Rand Paul is talking about, right? 3.4 million people were spied upon, right here. Here's where that connects. And this is pretty obvious. Here's where it connects. I can't allow you to provide to the American people proof that we're not governing anything. We're not helping any Americans. We're helping the corporations and the rich and the elitist and the pedo-predator class, aka World Economic Forum. That's what we're doing. And once you find that out, we can't let people know that. We can't let people come to that realization that none of what they're doing in Congress, and even to this day, I don't see shit happening. Ooh, Hunter didn't show up. Did you honestly think that fucking dude was going to show up for a deposition where he can be grilled for hours instead of doing it in public when he'd get 3-minute, 5-minute sound bites that everybody would get and go by real quick? Of course not. He's not going to admit to any of this stuff, and they're still going to hold their ground on it, even though there's a plethora of information. Like, if you were compare the impeachments or the indictments or the charges, and Trump has been charged with 37 different felonious counts, and guess what's happened? Not a single one is fucking stuck. What does that say? For him, that is, right? He's just got money to fix it? No. For some, yes. I mean, let me back that up. So Hunter Biden is the son of whoever this guy is, Joe Biden, right? And people are voting for him, still voting for Biden because they're saying, well, that's his son. When I'm not voting for Hunter, I'm voting for Joe, right? But then there's a connection between Joe, the family, siblings, etc., with Burisma, China, Russia, of doing deals because of Joe's influence, presence, or stake in the game. And there's information out there that's pretty substantial. It's not just a laid claim. The Republicans, from my perspective, right? The Republicans, from my perspective, wouldn't be moving in this direction if they didn't have anything. They're not doing it because they're afraid that Biden's going to win. They're doing it because they know that this guy's a criminal. There's nothing that Joe Biden has said throughout his entire career that I would say at least 60 to 70% of it that has been true. This guy is notorious, right? Continuous liar. Pontificator, bullshitter. Just amazing. I mean, look at his history. He's lied about where he went, did this. He lied about going there. He lied, he's been this. He went to Maui and bullshitted the people in Maui. Oh, we had this and did this, and then they did a story on it. And everybody goes, no, you didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? Anyway. Plus, he's demented. He's a puppet. They're all puppets, except maybe Trump. I don't believe Trump is the puppet that people want to paint him as. I used to believe it. I still question it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with me saying, well, I don't know. I don't know if this guy is going to do what he says. That's what I'm concerned about with Trump. I'm concerned that Trump is going to move, because somebody said it today. Who was it? Somebody says he's somewhat of a moderate. I'm trying to remember who it was. This is a Republican who advocates for conservatives. Trump is somewhat of a moderate. People may not think that, but he is. And this is what he did when he was in 2019. Now, I don't know if he's going to behave that way or if his actions will totally dictate differently. But if I didn't know and I was lied to, conned, sold down the river in regards to 2020 and warp speed and all that other crap, which he went in. He bought 200 million doses of this stuff, August and July, 2 different companies. And then he started pushing this thing. And then he's on with Bill, what's his name, in some interview from, used to be on Fox. Yeah, we took it. Did you take it? Oh, I took it. Did you take it? I took it. They were bragging about it. You know, I'm just like, I don't know, man. This is bullshit. And I keep saying to people, I keep saying to everybody, I don't know why people aren't asking this. This is like the most important question of the day. There are Congress people that have not taken this, that have adamantly said, I'm not. I haven't. I won't. The Democrats have claimed that they all have. Do you believe them? No. Do you believe Tom Hanks took it? Do you believe Madonna took it? Do you believe Taylor Swift took it? Do you believe the new Pfizer king, Travis Kelce, actually took it? Or if they gave it to him, or if that's actually it? If the Mary Roger Nancy Alpha is in his system connecting to his DNA, which is what happens. This is probably, and I'm moving in a little different direction here, the biggest question that everybody's going to be frantically asking. Because once the real true numbers come out, and I had this, did I have it? Oh my gosh, I think I put it here. Let me see. I was talking to, Snark is pissed off at me in regards to the moon. I'm just not believing the whole moon thing. Sorry. There's just a lot of evidence. I mean, it's just the biggest thing is, why haven't we tried to go back? You know, other countries have gone there, but not us. It just doesn't make any sense. Let me see if I can find this. Man, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It was right. I think I posted it on here. Let me see if I can find it in my pictures. Let's look. Go to photos. I don't know what that is. Oh, some of the stuff has been taken down. Oh, look. I got a false information. Look at that. I got a false information in regards to posting that. Somebody narked on me. False information check. Fact checkers checked. See post. Let's see what oh, there it is. And remember Kamala telling Joe Biden during the debate, you will do whatever the Chinese tell you. They give your son over $1 billion. Did she really say that? I believe she said that. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I kind of remember that. That little squirrel. Let me see if I got, what is this one? Township. Declaring Holton Township, the Second Amendment. Oh, this is Holton Township Second Amendment Sanctuary, which people are going to start doing here pretty soon if things don't get better. Mark my words on that. This guy here advertised as a hero for being a coward. Hunter defies GOP. Look at that. He defied them. Hunter defied House GOP subpoena to testify in private. There's no way he's going to do whatever it takes to stay out of there. Because he's going to slip and he's not going to answer and he's going to stall. That's what's going to happen. Let me ask you, how many people have said no to a deposition in Congress? How many? Like a few, maybe a few. I think it's a few. In the past 200 years, a few. So why would this guy not want to show up? If he's telling the truth, right? I think he's going to break. They know he's going to break. He's weak. This motherfucker is weak. He is a weak ass dog-faced pony boy. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about his own son. It's kind of sad, right? Hunter Biden defies the House GOP subpoena to testify in private. Yeah, the reason why is because he'll be raked over the coals in there, and he can't do that. He wants to do it publicly so that he can easily just say stupid little things, little 2 or 3 minute sound bites, and that's it, done. But it's the deposition is recorded, and it's longer, and it's more thorough, right? Sadly, it's private. You'd like to see that kind of stuff publicly, but we'll have to work on that with the systems that we have. But yeah, that's pretty sad. I was kind of getting away from what I was doing here, so hang on. I can't find that freaking picture. Maybe I've got it here. Let me see. Federal government wants to sell off your national parks and public lands to Wall Street. Oh, yep, they do. The state of Illinois spent $650 million on building permanent shelter for illegals over the course of 5 years spent in housing. Fucking Jesus, man. And the veterans get zero. Veterans got nothing. So sad what's going on. Super, super sad. All right. Yeah, so I just want to commend Rand Paul again for doing what he's doing. It's not perfectly done. None of these guys are, you always say you can do it better. You can, let me get up there. Let me do a presentation. I'll put on that suit and tie. Suit and tie, suit and tie. And I'll freaking ask the questions, and I'll do whatever it's necessary to get the information out that's needed, so that people can make a informative decision. And then that's the reason why FISA, that's the reason why the FBI, the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, Health and Human Services, CDC, NIH, all these departments under the Biden administration have been so extremely authoritarian, so extremely Orwellian, to the point of dystopian. I mean, it's past socialism, it's past communism. I mean, this stuff is just really bad, and it's sad, and it's alarming. It's just really super. It's just alarming. That's basically what it is, and people should be more informed on what's really happening. You can't, who was saying it today? Somebody said today that you can't get the information. It was on Benny Johnson and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who people think's an idiot, but she's a hell of a lot smarter than most people in Congress. And you're going to say, well, how the fuck would you say that? Because I've done my research. This lady is not a fucking joke. She's not a joke at all. Let me see, history. I think it was this one. Ending blunder. Biden's committing a blunder. Arrogant Hunter holds hearing. Yeah, here it is right here. Wait for the commercial. Skip commercial. That's a weird stuff.
Women and paid for women to travel across state lines.
Spending $300
when it comes to women that Hunter Biden is, and the press corps does not want to talk about it. When I brought that up, the entire media, the whole press circle that was standing right there went silent, and none of them had a question or anything to say because they don't know what to say when it comes to that evidence. And if you can remember, Benny, because I know we talked about it and we talked about it on this show, when we had our committee hearings and I showed evidence of that, the Democrats went into full meltdown mode. Jamie Raskin, AOC, all of them went into meltdown mode and accused me of showing porn or revenge porn during the committee hearing, when absolutely that's not what it was. It was real proof of human trafficking, which is Mann Act violations.
So we have that clip ready to go. We typically don't play clips during the interview, but it's very important because Hunter Biden mentioned it himself in his groveling, onions in the napkin filled, like fake tears press conference where he muled and he complained that he was there to answer questions and then answered no questions, and he was there for accountability and didn't go to your committee hearing. Hunter Biden said that Republicans showed naked photos of me, and so it's worth pinning down what actually happened. Clearly, you heard Hunter Biden complain about this moment, and here's the image of it right here. Congresswoman, your response to Hunter Biden.
Well, it wasn't me showing naked pictures of him. That was actually pornography that Hunter Biden himself uploaded to porn websites with women that he was paying for sex and had paid to bring them to travel across state lines so he could have sex with them and so that he could upload that porn himself to porn websites. That's what those images are. And Hunter Biden refused to come to our deposition today because he's terrified to answer these questions. Yeah. And he's also claiming that he wanted a public hearing, which is a complete joke because Hunter Biden and every single person in Washington, D.C., and especially the media, know that we have a process here when it comes to our committees. There's always a private deposition first and then a public hearing to follow. Well, Hunter Biden refused to come to our private deposition today, so we are moving forward to hold him in criminal contempt of Congress.
Yeah, nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do have the full clip now loaded. Let's go ahead and play it again because Hunter Biden mentioned it, saying this is just a humiliation tactic by Republicans to show naked photos of him.
Of Hunter Biden making sex, excuse me, this is my time, making pornography.
Should we be displaying this, Mr. Chairman, in the committee?
The lady's time's expired and went 2.5 minutes over. If Mr. Bufume wants the 2.5 minutes, he can have it. If he wants to yield some to Ms. Ocasio-Cortez when she goes, she can have it.
They read heinous fake rape allegations against Brett Kavanaugh live in a Senate hearing for days.
Yeah.
None of it turned out to be true. None of it was substantiated. And all you did was hold up the physical evidence, and now Hunter Biden is accusing you of just holding up naked photos of him.
That's right. But this is who the left is.
Wow.
When it comes to real crimes like this, they never want to admit that their own commit these crimes. But then they accuse people on the right, like Brett Kavanaugh and many other men, they accuse them of these horrific crimes and lie about them, push it out in the press, and the press constantly talks about it. But today, Benny, the press was completely silent in our press conference outside the Oversight Committee room when I brought up the Mann Act violations. And you can see Hunter Biden was even making excuses saying that we were showing naked photos of him. No, not at all. That was actually pornography that he produced himself with prostitutes that he paid, and paid them out of his law firm account, the LLC that he used to launder money from China, by the way, and we have the bank statements to prove it. Money came from China. The CCP went into Owasco, that law firm account, then paid James and Sarah Biden, and James and Sarah Biden then wrote a check to Joe Biden calling it a loan repayment. So you see, we have great questions to ask Hunter Biden, but the problem is he's terrified to show up, and he doesn't want to face Republicans. He doesn't want to face our oversight committee, and he doesn't want to tell the truth to the American people.
Here's the thing. Him not cooperating says what? Right? So, in regards to Kavanaugh, he was there every day. He showed up, did everything. I remember it. But nothing happened. I was like, why didn't anything happen to that guy? Right? Another witch hunt. Another fucking witch hunt. And nothing was produced. And it was all bullshit. So, I officially am telling you that the Democratic Party is not just the Democratic Party, because they're a bunch of Satanist fucks, crazy, and I don't, whatever religion you want to do is up to you. That's fine, right? That's your prerogative. That's your right. I get it. Freedom of religion, it's good. But these people are real sick bastards. They're just totally sick motherfuckers. They're just... And the thing that they do more often than anything, and they've been doing it since FDR, right? They've been doing this ever since Kennedy was assassinated. The first one, right? John F. Kennedy. They've been diligent at being the pot calling the kettle black party. I repeat, the Democrats are now, more than anything, and they've been this way for a long time. You just didn't notice it. People just didn't notice it. But it took me a while to figure out how heinous and crazy and sick these fuckers are. They're beyond... Evil isn't even a word for these people. And I'm not saying Republicans, and a lot of Republicans are far away, because we know that Mitch McConnell, we know that Lindsey Graham, we know that, there's a good handful of fucking piglicans, I call them, rhino piglicans, that are just as bad, and probably, just as bad, in the same realm. But it's just very obvious that this party has just become, and people have bought it. And I bought it when I voted for Obama twice. I think I voted for Clinton, and I pushed off the Lewinsky thing, Monica Lewinsky thing. Then I voted for Bush, though, for sure. I don't know why I voted for him twice, because he did 2 years. And then I fully regretted that. But I've been played and I've been fooled, and a lot of us have. A lot of us have. But I'm going to tell you right now, MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is the real thing. She is a fucking warrior. She cares about your freedom of speech. She cares about the country. She's a patriot for sure. She's a true warrior for this country. Benny does a good job. He's an entertainer. Benny's an entertainer. He cares though. He cares. Like I said, I don't have to fucking do this. But I'm documenting all this shit because most of the stuff I've talked about in the past, definitely in the past, I started my channel in 2017, beginning of 2017. Blog Talk Radio started in 2014. Most of the stuff that I've talked about, I'd say like 80, 90% of it has came to fruition, has actually appeared and came true. The thing that I don't want to come true that I'm predicting is they're going to try a cyber attack. They're going to try a bomb. They're going to try many bombs. They're going to try domestic terrorist problems. They're going to create such chaos. And next year, keep your freaking eyes open. Keep your phones open. Get ready to take pictures. Protect the infrastructure. We've got to, I'm going to start pushing that. We've got to get our legislators out there and our council members and everybody to protect our infrastructure, the water, protect the electricity, protect the gas, protect the food, protect everything. Because these people are going to go after everything they can to stop fucking Trump from being elected. I'm telling you. Isn't that crazy? But what does that really say? Why would you put so much time, effort, money, energy just to stop this guy? It's the reason why Tucker got fired. Tucker brought up the duopoly. The two-party duopoly. He talked about it. And that's the reason why he got it. Because he was alerting everybody that it exists. They don't give a fuck. They all walk with Zelensky. They all walk with Netanyahu. You know, they all walk with fucking whoever they can. Look at Charlie Wilson's war. They were all in on that. That was Bin Laden, right? Look up Syriana with George Clooney. That's how that's the process. They get, you know, it's, you know, they MK Ultra a bunch of people all the time. It's just this. It's just sad. This is out of control. You know, but they're showing their hand. They showed their fucking hand in 2020, 2021. If you didn't figure it out, then I don't know. You know, then you're probably on your third or fourth fucking booster. Anyway, I'm gonna say aloha. Nobody's showing up, so I'm outie here. Aloha, 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 and that's it. I'm done for the night. Yeah, this chick's a trooper. You know, my senator here in Missouri, Eric Schmidt, is a fucking badass. I'm just tired of the kooks in Congress, the fucking weirdos. You know, I'm watching how the military in one of these exchanges, and I can probably find it here, and then I'll go. I promise. I promise I'll go. I'll go. I'm watching how this, the military recruiters, Armed Services Committee hearing entitled Recruiting Shortfalls. Okay.
And the VA office is urging.
Right. These, look at that. VAs are fucking vet. How are you gonna? Oh my god. The Marines are the only people that have held fast and stayed steady with not doing this trans lunacy shit, the corporate equality index crap, and the DEI crap. Right? That's really just harmed us, made us weaker for sure. Yes, it's made us weaker. It's by design by the World Economic Forum anyway. Created a lot of shit in 2016 at a Davos meeting. Anyway, yeah, the Armed Service Committee holds hearing about military recruitment shortfalls. People aren't going in, and mark my words on this. Let's just say Trump gets elected. Let's just say they're able to protect him, keep him from the massive amount of assassinations. You know, socially, economically, you know, physically. And he makes it to the inauguration. I guarantee you, there will not be a shortage of people in the military. That it's going to explode. There will be more people joining for the military than you ever seen in your life. Because they'll stand behind this guy. Right? They'll stand. I think Trump's a patriot for sure. Way beyond Biden for sure. Right? And patriotism is my thing. You know, I'm a constitutionalist, you know, ex-Navy for a little while. But I do this for my family, my kids, their kids, my neighbors, everybody. I just want to make sure that, you know, when I was a kid, we didn't have cell phones, right? Because I'm fucking ancient. But we had a good time. We went outside, played all fucking, my parents would just get the fuck out of the house, go play. That was it. Saturday, Sunday, Saturday morning, watch Saturday morning cartoons for a little bit, unless we had some, you know, skateboard ramp we were building, or some fort we were building, or some, you know, giant BMX motocross dirt park we were building. always making and building shit. You know, working on. I was working when I was 12, 13 years old, and 14. I was working on 327 Camaros. I was working with my buddy on his truck. He did most of the work on his truck, but he had a 454 big block, dual high-rise manifold, hooker headers. I think he had a crank cam in it, you know, some modifications and a few other things. But this thing used to just burn rubber forever. Just sit there and burn rubber. It was just so fucking powerful. It was crazy. Or was it and then we also worked on a couple of Mustangs, just a bunch of cars. When I was young, I used to turn wrenches with these guys. You know, we were doing things. We were building stuff. We were putting things, you know, we came in when the street lights were on. We'd play ditch 'em at night with each other. Which means you get a group of people. There'd be like 8 over here and 8 over there, and you'd had to stay within like we would stay within like apartment complexes, big ones. You know, we were the poor kids in the rich neighborhoods, kind of like right next door. But we used to run around at night when we were able to hang around at night when we got older, and we just like, you know, ditching was you just had to find the other team. That's it. You know, you'd be chasing somebody around. The last guy you chase around, you got cornered in the corner. He's trying to jump over fences. And one guy, I don't know, who was it? I think it was Ben. I think it was either Ben or somebody. Jumped over a fence in somebody's yard and jumped over another fence. Like, dude, you can't do that. We didn't care. We did all kinds of fun shit. But we also played in rivers and lakes and streams and stuff, and you know, little harbors. They weren't totally polluted. We had, you know, mom wasn't making a lot. My mom worked 1 or 2, 3 jobs at one time to take care of her 4 kids. You know, there's a lot of stuff that parents were doing out there that was way above and beyond, you know, that I've seen now. That they didn't get the help that they needed back then. They were busting their ass. But we had good meals. Mom always made sure we had some fruit and some vegetables in the refrigerator, always. Even if we're eating top ramen and hot dogs one night, even if we're eating macaroni and hot dogs the other night, even though we're not, you know, financially doing all that great, she would, you know, make sure we had some fruit and some vegetables in there. At least a carrot, you know, at least an apple, something. You know, my mom's amazing. She's still alive. Licensed private investigator. Still to this day. And still doing a few jobs out there. Really, really, really amazing. 80-something years old. And she plays City of Heroes. A couple of computer games, which I recommend for the elderly. Play video games. They keep you moving, you know. And then go out and walk around, move around. Anyway, not to get too sentimental, but here's the problem that we're looking at. We've got a future now that is, the country is in the hands of a group of people that are all in with the World Economic Forum. They're all in with the New World Order, Great Reset agenda, which if you really want to know what it's about, it's pretty horrific. They paint it as it's wonderful and it's great, but it's not. It's not. It's terrible. It's terrible. There's a new book that about Fauci that Rand Paul just did. It's called Deception. I recommend people get it. It's impressive. That was on a great interview, by the way, with Drew. What's that guy's name? Drew. Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew. Here it is right here. All right. Dr. Drew. Let me show you the book. There it is right there. They were just, you know, they're talking about the fucking, the Kool-Aid everybody took. It's bad. right? It's bad. It's bad. What's interesting is Dr. Drew is able to rip these fucking pharmaceutical companies and rip this and that, but because he's a doctor, he doesn't get any strikes. But he's been dinged once or twice, I believe, on YouTube, and he's been definitely dinged on Facebook a bunch of times, he said. Yeah, a bunch of times. Because he's going into that area, Influence operator. Yeah. Fauci deceived or sold fucking Trump. Trump's a smart businessman, he's good with real estate, but when it comes to politics, he was just learning. That was his freshman year. Now he's a sophomore, right? Now he's a junior. He's going to be in his senior year. He's going to know what to fucking do in high school. Once you get your junior or senior year of high school, you know what the fuck's going on. You know how to work the entire school, right? You just got it going on. When I graduated, by the hairs on my chinny chin, by the way, it was interesting for me because I was a jock, but at the same time, I loved hanging around with the mods. I love the music. I love the fucking new wave music. I like the punkers. I used to, I wasn't sitting at the fucking jock table all the time. I was going out mingling and talking with everybody. And the chess club guys, golf club guys. I love the chess club guys. My brother used to hang around in the music room more than me, by sure. I should have been in there more often. But, I was, not to get too personal, but, I was more focused on the girly girls. That's kind of, my mom told me, Jim, if you would just focus on you and not the girls, you'd be a billionaire. I think I'm going to do that. I'm doing that now, as a matter of fact. I'm doing what I can to do what I can to. I got, could have months, I could have years, I could have a couple of decades left, but I'm telling you right now, it's my last hurrah. And I got to go out strong. I came in pretty fucking strong. I'm going out fucking strong. I was in limbo for like 30 years, man. 30, 40 years. Yeah, but you got to watch this conversation. You got to watch this conversation. It's good. Yeah. Dr. Drew destroying the fucking... It's every time he brings somebody, he's learning more and more information. It's getting worse and worse and worse. Right? And then this last guy I had on, and I'm going to go right after this one. It was this guy right here. Salty Cracker was on with him. That's so fucking cool. Salty Cracker had some really interesting World Economic Forum things to say. I thought it was brilliant. He also had who was the person he had the other day? Yeah, but if you look at this, look at what they're talking about here. Let me try to fit that in there so you can see what this is where his mind's, this is where he's at. When he was talking to Rand Paul, he was pissed off, just mad as hell. You could see it, his anger. You could see the anger in his tone and his body language, the way he was phrasing things, and the context he was putting it in. He's just pissed off at the Health and Human Services, CDC, NIH, just all these people that he had been trained all his life as a doctor to trust. And that's just changed, right? I mean, look at these titles. Rand Paul, going after, we got this one right here. Attorney General sues Pfizer for misrepresentation regarding Mary Roger Nancy Alpha. Strange deaths, diseases, dissection, human disaster, lung pneumonia outbreak, baloney. And that's coming from people that have had the Kool-Aid, by the way. It's not the kids and the people that have had it are getting this pneumonia, this lung disease. All kinds of crazy crap. Expose Epstein, Gates, global health investment. This guy was on. I mean, he's really going deep. And I used to listen to Dr. Drew on, wasn't Kiss FM, it was K-Rock, KROQ in Los Angeles when I was younger. And he had Loveline on. People used to call in about the relationship. So I was with my boyfriend, and then some guy came up, and I just started talking to him. Next thing you know, we go out to his, little stories like that and stuff like that. And who's on with him? Alan Carolla. It was crazy because he was trying to be super professional at the time, which he always is. He's very professional, Dr. Drew. But Carolla just crack him up. What are you talking about? They're having a whatever terminologies you're using relationship. The chick was just basically cheating on him, right? And it went both ways. All kinds of stuff was happening out there. Yeah, if you're on the other side of being cheated on, I'm telling you, it's not a good feeling. It's happened to me. I think it's happened to a lot of people. I don't get it. Maybe there is somebody out there. I'm not really worried about that right now, but maybe there's somebody out there that's going to be committed, somebody that's going to, faithful, honest, have integrity, and it's hard to find that these days. People with integrity, people that show up, works. Haven't missed a day of work in, I don't know, fucking forever, like years. I don't miss work. I always go to work. I've been late like a few times, but I show up, do the job. It's integrity. It's hard to find. Hard to find integrity these days. I just don't see it in Congress. Don't see it with a lot of people. It's sad. Morals, ethics, norms, folkways. It's kind of tough. Well, that's when you slap the parents in the face and go, you know what? You raised an idiot. There's some just idiot parents these days. Just amazing. They're just propagated and all that other crap. But anyway, I want to thank you. Sorry for going down that little personal thing. Sorry about that. But anyway, this is James with Montauk. Thank you for being here. And by the way, crap, it's 12/13/2023. It's only 9:30 out here in Central Standard Time. And that's pretty much it. Remember, this is going to be what everybody's going to be asking pretty soon. This is it. Once the true numbers are coming out, and go look up Steve Kirsch. Right? Steve Kirsch sent out recently, and that's what I was looking for, that freaking picture. I thought I had that picture. I should have put it somewhere. I don't want to put it anywhere because it's, let me see. You have attempted to share a private image. What? No. Anyway. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting what's going on out there, to be honest with you. It's just really, really interesting. Thank you very much. Aloha. Mahalo. Nui.